Our next section is priority, goals, and actions. And this leads to the personal vision statement, which is your assignment number 1. So most of us understand what goals are. Goals are methods to increase value by achieving specific accomplishment. Your goal might be to run a marathon, okay? And so that's your goal, okay? I'm going to ask you continually in this class, why do you have a goal? Or why are you doing this? Why? So that I really understand why you're doing something. And the reason is you're more likely to be successful in strategic planning if you understand the reason why you're doing something. And that way you can create value, you can increase the value in the process of achieving that goal. So for example, if I ask you why you're running a marathon, you said, I want to be healthy. Okay, so that would lead me to the actions that you're going to be doing in order to achieve that goal, right? If your goal is to run a marathon to be healthy, then eating a bunch of fast food is not gonna, it might, give you fuel in order for you to run, and it might be good, but if you're talking about the main reason why you're running a marathon is to be healthy, then you shouldn't be just eating bad food, or you shouldn't be taking performance enhancing drugs in order to run that marathon, because those things will actually lead to you being unhealthy, even though you'll be able to run for the short term doing those types of activities. So if your goal is to be overall healthy, then how do we create the actions that support that objective, but also get to the real reason of why you're doing as well? So actions are a goal without a wish. No, excuse me. A goal without a plan is just a wish. And I love this quote because a lot of us just wish we had a business, right? And so oftentimes creating this business might be a goal of us, but creating the actions of what we're going to do actually get us started. And that's why I said earlier in the module is that it's a process of going through from point A to point Z. Being able to understand all the small steps that you can move you forward and get from point A to B to C to D. Maybe just this class would help you understand what a business success would be, but it also helps you get from point A to point B to maybe point C. Right? Over the next year or two, you might get those rest of the steps of the way, but progressing in small steps and understanding that you now have a pathway to move forward and doing that efficiently and effectively is really important. So this is why I like this. Creating actions are important too. So goals are methods to increase the value. Actions are the strategic plan. So the strategic plan is actually the actions, and that's what we're really going to see is you identifying the steps that helps you achieve your goal. Okay. So there's one thing I'm going to ask you to do in this module, module 1, is really identify the priorities. And a lot of people don't talk about the priorities when doing a strategic plan, and they just skim over this, right? Priorities identify the most important things tangible and not in your life, right? And this is something that I can't define for you. It's something that you have to come up with, but I can help you clarify them and describe them. I might ask you some probing questions to help you expand on it, right? But priorities are really important, and I want to take a step in this first module to understand them, and then in the next module we'll talk about goals, and in the strategic plan, the rest of the modules, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, we'll talk about what are the specific actions that you're going to do. So right now we're really focusing on the priorities. Before making goals and an action plan, take time to consider your priorities. Then practice making a goal to improve the value of your priorities. Actions can be left blank for now, so in this assignment we're not really going to define the actions. But realize they are important to turn your wish into a reality. These can be outlined in a more detailed business plan. So let's go over a couple different priorities. There's personal priorities and professional that you're likely to have. And well, let's go over each of those. So in personal, these are really your family, your friends, your church, your health, what type of vacations like you like to take, where you might want to live, how you like to spend your free time. This is all priorities that could be important to you. So you'll see the priorities here listed: family, spiritual, friends, health, vacation, where you live, how you spend your free time. These all could be examples of priority. Now, I'm not putting them in order. I'm not saying that you have to have all these as a priority, but you could probably list what's the most important to you, right? Some people put family in front of everything, right? Some people don't have family and they don't ever want to get married, right? And so that's not a priority to them. So everyone's going to have their own unique things. So it might be some things on these lists, and they might be organized differently as which one's the most important thing to you. But these are examples of things that are priorities to somebody. In a professional priorities, this is oftentimes where you work, where you spend your working time. And the priorities of your type of work could be the type of job title you have or the status you have. Maybe a priority is satisfaction from work. You actually enjoy what you do. Maybe a priority is service to others. You want to do work that is meaningful and has an impact on other people. Or maybe your priority is a work schedule or hours. Maybe it's where you work. And so these things can change over your lifetime. You might be a college student right now and realize, hey, you know what? I'm taking classes at night and during the day. I really need to just be able to work on the weekends. So you don't really care what you do in these top three, but just making money on the weekend is a priority. So you'll look for a job that pays you the most money, that has the best schedule. So that might be your top priority, right? Later on, you might say, hey, I really want to be a doctor, or I really want to be a lawyer, and it's really important to me the job title I have, because that's what is important to me. It's important to my family. So I might work really, really hard in order to get that title. I might go to school to become a doctor or lawyer, and once I get that, I'm going to be very proud of that work. So the priorities might be this. Some of you don't care about title at all, right? I just want to do work that is really makes me feel good. I enjoy doing it, and so I like doing that, and that's a priority. So it's up to you to figure out which is the ones that are most important to you, and kind of organize them as this is the most important. So you can also put them in your own order. So goals, as we move through the assignment, the goals are, for goals, pick one priority in your personal lifestyle and create a SMART goal to add value to this priority. SMART goals are specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time specific. Then the actions are optional. You don't have to do it for this assignment, but this is what you're actually going to do. So don't be confused with goals or what you want to achieve, and the action, these are things that you actually do. Okay, so the things you actually do to achieve your goal that are aligned with your priority, the actions that you're specifically going to do, we're not going to worry about them right now. That's a different part of the planning process. Okay. So as we look at your business structure, the business structure is the ideal business that would fulfill both personal and professional lifestyles. As an entrepreneur starting your own business, you can achieve the objective of starting a business that aligns with your priorities, and you have the opportunity to design it. And that's what we want to do, is figure out what is the perfect business for you. Okay? The structured outline may never be attainable, but we will more likely achieve it if we define what we want. So that means that you can dream up later on a business in Module 2, a business model where you can make money. If we can identify a strategic plan, we're more likely to achieve that and have it be more relevant to you. Okay? So what is your personal vision statement? It's your life's priorities and goals written out. It's your best self that you will work to achieve. Okay, so that's what we're going to be working on with, and this first assignment is developing your personal vision statement. And we'll talk about your professional lifestyle. It's how you want your work to be. Okay, and we'll review assignment number 1, personal vision statement, next.